Sorry about doing that right into the mic. So yeah, I just decided to switch over. I think I'm gonna change the title to plays clone drone in the danger zone while complaining. Because I think that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, I'm pretty tired of like my life, and I'm sure everybody else is who has to deal with this, who knows, what it's like working manual labor, and for what? Why can't I swing? What's happening? Okay, maybe I just need to move around until it gives me the ability to swing. Okay, that's not my controller, right? Whatever. Yeah, I'm tired of people's being fucking who don't have to do that kind of work, being in control of so many critical aspects of my life through be like whether I'm able to pay bills, and of course I'm not like, oh, everything should just be provided, or none of that. I'm not. I don't even know what like kind of person that would be. Who's just in favor of like no bills whatsoever, and we don't like the moneyless society thing. I don't really believe in as far as capitalism goes, dude. Am I just not allowed to swing the hammer? I didn't really read the rules. I'm gonna unplug, see if I can't fix this. But yeah, I'm not. If that is a requirement of being a communist, then I guess I wouldn't call myself a communist. Uh, no, still not swinging. And yeah, if I also don't call myself an anarchist. Really glad I got the kick for several reasons. One, I don't think that it's necessarily a sustainable like uh, ideology. Why can I not swing? Damn. Yeah, see, I can with the mouse and keyboard. Okay, there it goes. Yeah, there was just some stupid glitch going on. I had to like reassign it or something. But yeah, anarchism. I can agree with like being against certain hierarchies, but I'm not anti-hierarchy for the sake of it. I don't think that there's like really strong fundamentals that I could adhere to that are present in anarchism. I think that it as like a if it's just anti-authority, then I don't. I think that there's going to be other groups that come along that don't have those values and are able to operate more efficiently because they're under they have that central authority figure. And I don't like centralized authority structures. Like, it's not my thing. So I do agree to that extent, but not on a like I don't know if I would say like principled matter. There's a word that I've been struggling to remember for a long time now, but it essentially describes believing something for the sake of it, or just on like principle, but not for like there's no nuance essentially. And yeah, I don't really think that way about anything. I'm a moral relativist. Sometimes the moment is going to determine what is called for. Now, obviously, on some things, there's red lines for yeah, but I don't believe that there's like in any sort by any means any objective morality, and that's just like that's obvious. I mean, on the basis that people can disagree on this, and the fact that it's just conceptual, um, you know, morality's like time, right? We're all gonna perceive it differently, and yeah, there's like some societal adherence to it, but it can vary depending on where you're at, and so on and so forth. Yeah, yeah. So I don't want to get into that like too much because I don't feel like it's. I, I guess there might be people out there that are grappling with that, and maybe it is worth talking about. I don't want to treat topics like that like they're just beneath me just because I've processed them and I feel like I've come to a reasonable position. Of course, even what is reasonable, and yeah, yeah, we could just go down the rabbit hole on all these terminologies, and that's something I really don't enjoy either. Is the terminology humping and like trying to get the every definition has to have like a critically specific definition. Now it's for communication, so if you're communicating what you mean, it doesn't matter if you use the exact right words. For one, people who get caught up on that are kind of like pseudo intellectuals, I think. And I know it's easy to get caught up on. I've done it too. I wouldn't even consider myself like a pure intellectual. I wouldn't consider myself pure in any regard. Because any pure system, which I'm a system, everyone is a system. Any pure system is either a farce or corrupt. Because you'd have to, or like broken in some way. Maybe not necessarily like corrupt, depending on how you use the term, but like you'd have to be a purist in anything. You have to neglect nuance and reject that any situation could uh, have circumstances that call for like a different approach than whatever you initially would have stated. It's like with the law, right? There's the color of the law and the letter of the law for a reason, but there's a lot of people that want to they want to pretend like they don't have a position and that they are purely like I am for the law and whatever that says, but then in plenty of other cases, what, fuck it, I'll get into it. Like there's that a good friend. He's been a good friend in many ways for a long time. Like he's helped me through a lot of hard things, but one thing that has driven And I mean, when this had occurred, it was so serious to me that I don't know that maybe he realized that it was going to like cascade like this, because it's stuck with me, and it's hard to let go of the fact that, when Jan 6th had happened, he was like, with Trump's speech and all that, and maybe he just wasn't paying like that much attention. Although he knew about it before I did, that Jan 6 had even happened. Because it was like, I was constantly on the news and or paying attention to the news and shit, and I was like, the day of Jan 6, I'm just like, you know what, I'm kind of like done with the news. And before I knew any of that was happening, I was just kind of like, maybe even that week or something, that I decided I'm gonna take a break from the news. And then later that day, he comes over. He doesn't do that very often. It's hard to get him out of his place. But yeah, he comes over and decides like to hang out. He wants to see my rifle and shit that he hadn't seen, and um, it's a cool rifle. So I was just thinking, yeah, he just finally decided maybe he's thinking about getting a gun, uh, and all of that. And this was before the assault rifle ban in my area, so it was kind of like another reason where I could see, he was anticipating that and maybe wanted to do that before that and all that. But whatever. Anyway, um, yeah, my roommate comes home and we're like standing there, and I'm showing him this, and uh, she didn't really think anything of it. She was pretty chill, but like, yeah, because it's not really something I would break out or something that I'd really talk about. Like, I think that she knew just because, like, that there was a gun in the home, but um, just like in case of whatever, if not that I'm like let somebody fucking use it or whatever, but there was like there's reasons to uh, make somebody aware that like that's a thing. I honestly I don't know if she knew or not, to be real about it, but um, what the fuck am I getting at? Um, so yeah, he fucking tells me at some point that, oh no, that's right. She was like, oh, so is this to do with like because of what's happening in the Capitol? And I'm like, the fuck are you talking about? And then he's like, oh yeah, no, I just thought you knew, you know. But anyway, so yeah, he knew about it before I did. That's what I was getting at. And fucking dude, just die. There. So yeah, I end up finding out that way, and over the next like weeks or however long, I end up talking to him and trying to get his position on it, because there was, he's like a big free speech advocate or whatever, and somewhere in the conversation, I guess he, was holding that position. He said something that indicated, that like there's a chance, because I wouldn't ask or press on this matter if I didn't feel like there was like some kind of a prompt for it. And uh, so yeah, I end up getting from him like his sort of conclusion was that he's not sure that legally speaking that Trump incited that the insurrection, or even that it was an attempted insurrection, right? Just by like definition, legally speaking. And no matter what, I could not get him to take a position. He refused. He's just like, oh, we're just gonna have to wait and see, on like where it actually lands. And I'm like, these laws, they were made by people and based on their values, um, by the citizens, like essentially, or even if they're elected officials, they're just people, you know, like they were elected. It's not like they have some fucking higher stance. And I know most people know that. Like, yeah, they're just people at the end of the day who got this position, and a lot of them don't even deserve it, and are probably less like qualified even, I would say, because I'm not taking like their background and all of that into account as far as qualifications, but rather they're like, this is my personal moral stance, and I think a lot of people would agree. Yeah, a lot of them should not be in there. Uh, and yet, so that's like, to me, to disregard any sort of participation, any sort of like um, personal stance on what the laws ought to be, is basically neglecting to participate, in this country. You're pretty much saying, like, I would prefer somebody else set the rules for me, and that's cuck behavior, and I don't like it. It's cop out behavior, honestly, because I know better. I know that it's this. This wasn't about what the laws and all of that said. I know this person well enough to know that they do pride themselves on like their ability to like maneuver in social situations discreetly and things of that nature. And it's we're not really talking anyway now because of some really dumb shit actually that I'm not even going to get into because it's actually pretty silly, that doesn't have to do with this. But, well, it might. I mean, in a sense, like how things kind of cascade and emotions sort of build up and start getting into other areas of stuff. At least it can happen, and I think I'm one of those people where that can happen to or with, and so it's something that I try to curtail. But in this case, I don't really care about that because I do. It's something that basically made it hard for me to trust him. There's a lot of areas where I can and would trust him, absolutely, more than a lot of people. 100%. I mean, I'd trust him with my life in most cases, but with this, it's something that the trust of like knowing what he's genuinely for in the background, because it put this doubt in my head of like, well, what does he really stand for? Is he okay with Jan 6? Is he a supporter and just doesn't want to say it? It's like a mark of shame type of thing. Um, I I know he's more libertarian, so that would tell me that there's a chance of that, especially with that position, because there's plenty of other areas where the guy would make his own stance. I forgot why I started talking about that in the first place. I know this started with anarchy and why I don't consider myself an anarchist or even a communist if it's like by definition. Ah, yes, it was the definitions. Oh, that would have been cool if I smacked him in the lava. Oh my god, I just realized, like, is OBS... No! Oh no, I've just been talking in the dark. Oh no. Okay, alright. We gotta fix this. That's so bad. I'm sitting... Oh, jeez. Whoopsie. That's too bad. I wasn't recording this either, so whatever. I'm just gonna leave it just like that. Because, yeah, I just want to get my rant out. Maybe if I get, like, a good rant, I'll clip that and make something out of it. But I guess if I shut up for a bit, I can clip the audio separate and just like, yeah, I can move some stuff around for sure. I don't know. I'm not too worried about it, honestly. Just need to get back on track. Bam! So yeah, when that's right, and people claiming to be that way, like I think that when they want to act like, oh yeah, I'm just like I'm Mr. Law fucking guy. I'm I only take the stance of what is legal, and I don't have any actual personal views on anything. And even if you want to go like, well, by taking a stance without this, then it's like I could be putting myself in a position of being against free speech or something, but that's still cop out because no, of course you don't have to be against like free speech if it doesn't legally classify as incitement. You can just say I do or don't think that that was inciting an insurrection, or that was even an insurrection. Would I hold him responsible for that? Uh, Now, I could accept a no. Then we could have a discussion. It was just that kind of slimy behavior of like, I'm not gonna take a stance here on such a critical issue too. So yeah, I don't like that when people pretend that they are objective. I mean, even an honest, just like I honestly I can't make up my mind on it. I go back and forth, something like that. But it was just the way that guy went around about it, and there's a lot of people that do that shit. Oh, that was cake. So yeah, if I've tried with somebody who is an anarchist to get like the fundamentals of what anarchy is, and yeah, if, all I could really get out of everything that was explained and shown to me, and all these different, because they're not anti-systems. You can have systems, right? Uh, but if they're if all it there's no fundamental principles, it seems like, and therefore it's like, why even go under the label of anarchist, if the only thing that really sets it apart is being anti-hierarchy, but in some cases you will put together a system uh, that does have a hierarchy, right? I mean, if you have, like, for example, in housing, that oh yeah, and I guess there's like freedom of association, uh, which obviously that would be implicit in being anti-hierarchy, because if you're anti-hierarchy, there couldn't be a person who can tell you to do that, so that would be just implied by the anti-hierarchy part. So it's like, obviously, it's not a fundamental of it to be to have freedom of association. So yeah, it's kind of like a flimsy ideology, and I'm not even like for the. That's my big thing about it is like I don't want people. I don't think people should call themselves anarchists. Just be or anything for that matter, like socialist, communist. Fuck all that, dude. Just like you're gonna have to explain what that means to you anyway at some point. Like sure, you could use that to like I have like some of these, some of those kind of thing, in the school of thought of this area. But yeah, you're like in most cases, you're going to need to explain the nuances. And a lot of people, it's sort of like a trap. Like they get caught up in. I thought we were. Oh no, yeah, it's the Spidertron, not the random. Let's see. Oh yeah, see, I knew it. Bam, right there. Perfect. But yeah, just get rid of the labels. It's only useful for communication. You're not in a real club or anything, and if you are, then you're kind of missing. Well, I guess like it's not really as much about the belief as much as it is the camaraderie. And not to say that camaraderie is totally unimportant or like, well, whatever. Yeah, not to say that at all. Just that it has less to do with. It's more superficial at that point than you'd make it out to be. Yeah, same buddy. We had this argument about like what socialism is, right? I guess initially it's like the workers own the means of production, but if most people, for the sake of communication, this is a really cool level I've never seen. Last one was new, but not as cool. Yeah, um, for the sake of communication, I totally forgot what I was saying. Nice save. Wasn't enough though. I was doing so good about switching over the screen and stuff. I can't believe I messed that up. It's you know what? It's because I'm actually upset. Yeah, there's all of these people who I do manual labor for a living. That's what I've done for 9 years, and I've been accustomed to manual labor long before that. Yeah, like just been raised up like that, working in the yard and uh, basically like landscaping. Uh, God, I was a kid when I first used like a mini X to do a put an egress window in, at my grandma's place. So like I've been accustomed to manual labor my whole life, and to have these people who, honestly, in a lot of cases, have never done that work, and that'd be fine. Like I'm okay with working under people who've never done those. Like that's fine by me. It's not really about that, but it is when they so casually affect your life with systems that shouldn't be the way they are, and basically treat it as though um, like you should just take it. There's people need to do that this type of work, right? It needs to get done by somebody. So despite whatever higher education that, oh, maybe I could have done that and then I wouldn't be in the position of doing, like, no, it shouldn't be a fucking punishment. It's a civil um duty in a way, like because without people to do that role of fixing the shit in your apartment, you don't get that service, right? And it's a very thankless thing. Like a lot of jobs, they want like tips, right? And we just, as a society, we treat that as like like it's super normal to leave tips at a restaurant. But your maintenance techs, they don't get tips. I mean, I've gotten tips, but like it's not an expectation. You know what I mean? Not a cultural expectation. And why is that? Like, if I fucking snake your toilet because you took a big shit and you couldn't figure out how to undo that, maybe you should give me a tip. But I don't really give a shit about that. Honestly, it's more about the how people treat manual laborers and maintenance technicians specifically in this case. But manual laborers, yeah, actually more so is how this began, because I'm talking about the bill that I'd received and the fact that, like, Elle and I, they're like, oh, well, because this happened back in February and, I just got this bill. Um, like, they're like, oh, your dispute's probably not going to go anywhere. And I'm like, well, what was I supposed to do? Apparently the doctor said that, yeah, there's a less than 50% chance that it had happened at work, and it was just a pain that it lasted like a week and a half and it went away, but it was genuinely worrying, and that's like, what do you do in that case? Because you can pretty much ignore it and become a liability, or actually like have like a major injury. It could have like torn something and not. That's what it felt like. It was like I tore something in my knee, and every time I tried to move, like turn or whatever, it was this mad sharp pain. Like standing up and stuff in the bus when I was doing the drives and everything, I had to get out of the side door because like I couldn't stand up and turn to walk down the aisle or do anything like that. And I'm like, yeah, I need to at least make a note of this, and then I get sent to the clinic, and then they give me a brace, set me up with a physical therapist. I went once, and then yeah, after like a week and a half, it got better. So I was just like, I don't think I need to go anymore. I'm not trying to waste anyone's time, money. But it was just so dismissive, like, and the fact that, like, for one, we should be paying for healthcare through our taxes. Like, that's just absolute, and good luck getting a fucking, an all-in-one robot to do all the types of shit that I have to do in apartments. Respond to emergencies and show up and like repair plumbing, extract water from the carpet. There's a lot of like, it's not straightforward, and not every design is the same, or the process isn't always the same, because you might have to like. For example, in some cases, the way that a place is built, I've dealt with like having to do a shower mixer valve replacement, and to access it, I had to get in through a wall behind on the outside of the bathroom, but there was a water heater in the way. So like, you're gonna need something to take that thing out and efficiently, like, gotta drain it, take it out. It has to like go up and down stairs with like, or have like a built-in pump and all this other crazy shit. Like it would be insane to try to build something that could do all of the things that would go into even a plumbing job. It might need like saws and all this stuff to cut into things, drill holes, and then of course if bits go bad, and that's like a lot of moving parts, it's got to replace those things and all that stuff. It'd be crazy expensive. But now doctors, especially, handing somebody a brace, and then sending them off to a physical therapist and whatnot. That could be done less expensive, more efficiently, and accurately by machines. And there's already, like the Da Vinci thing that can do surgeries and things like that. Um, they've got the equipment that's set up so you can do scans and all that. You can have all of the information it would need be archived, so the schooling wouldn't be necessary. It's like obvious that yeah, doctors absolutely can be replaced by robots and AI, and should, because the, that's more of a burden on society cost wise to be paying people who are also like fallible in this way. I hope I didn't screw up. I accidentally did the thing again. But yeah, it's far more costly for people and have that human error involved as well. Could you imagine if that grenade got me right after? I want a map-sized spider bot. I want the spider bot to be the map. Um, this is cool. But yeah, there's that dismissive attitude that so many people have. It's like not just even administrative people, but like there's a lot of people that treat the things that I talk about as being entitled. It's like I bust my fucking ass even when I'm not getting paid for it. And I think a lot of us do and have. Um, I mean, I can't stop making work for myself. It seems like it just. But yeah, I know I absolutely uh, have earned being, the ability to be proud of my abilities. And I think that does piss a lot of people off, like who are in positions of authority, because yeah, they don't want somebody who's like that competent. They just want they want you to listen. I love that map. Mm. And it's pretty wild, because, like, yes, there's a lot of people that absolutely can do the job, but just because there's a lot of people that can do the job doesn't mean you treat the people that do like shit. Um, and yeah, the only real way to fight that, I guess, is to get together with all of the people that do the work and decide to withhold that labor, right? A strike, a general strike. But the only way that they can prevent that is to keep people desperate, right? And if you need to work to do that manual labor to feed your family, to feed yourself, to have a roof over your head, then there's nothing you can do. They don't want the people that make the gears move to have that kind of power. They want to be the ones that make the gears move. They don't want to do the work. That's it. They want to be important and not do the work. No, because they fucking went to school to figure out how to, like, be a bullshitter and uh yeah, I'm not saying necessarily that's the case about doctors. There's a lot that would go into that. But unfortunately, that doesn't mean that. Is this just a big circle? I just need to. Yeah, yeah. That's another cool map. But no, it doesn't mean that it's essential to, you know, it's in a way obsolete. I'm not saying this to be mean or to even be like to talk down to, or like out of a place of jealousy or any of that. No, no, no. It's really just like this is the facts of the matter, and that people shouldn't have to be doctors. You know, um, and hey, maybe someday they do the all-in-one bot that can like fix all these things, and maybe everything is very specific in the way that it's built in such a way that it's like reasonable to have all those the bots that do the things. Hell, they could have the plumbing bot, right? That just grabs the pipes and it runs through the um, like conduit channels and the walls and everything. And if there's like a break, it just goes there, fucking, seals it off at some point, and then continues along and like in the most efficient manner. I'm sure that could be done, but you'd have to construct the entire building around that concept. So, good luck. You're gonna have to rework every fucking building or new construction around that concept. I'm for doing stuff like that for new buildings. Like, I'm not like, no, we need to artificially justify, the maintenance people and all that. No, anywhere you can replace that work with automation, go for it. Because ultimately, and this is something I'd actually wrote down because I did want to get into this, and maybe I need to make an actual dedicated video about some of these things because I just don't think the message is going to get out there the way I'm doing it right now. But work, yeah, we don't need jobs. We don't need more jobs. We need less need. You know, it's pretty much what I've been saying. But it's like, yeah, we don't. We just need less need. But the only way to keep all those people working and all that money flowing up to the top is by artificially justifying all of these things. It is wild how inefficient, because we can look around us and there's like a lot of complexity that goes into uh, our systems, but that doesn't mean that's the only way to do it or that that's the best way to do it. A lot of you know that, but there's a lot of people that don't. And it seems like to the people that do know, I do feel it. Like, it's going to sound like what I'm saying is just kind of like a no shit thing, and it's not worth even discussing. Like, everybody knows this, but no, they really don't. And it needs to be put into plain words for for a lot of people. And just because somebody doesn't know this doesn't mean they couldn't understand it. That's unfortunate. Um, it doesn't make people dumb. It's designed in this way, not necessarily by intent, but it certainly works to to the same end as it would otherwise. So it really wouldn't matter whether it was intentional or not. Like, we're just here now, and there's a lot of people who would not want it to change. That their interests are tied up in keeping things the same way, right? Conserving the way that things are done. Because otherwise, I don't know, they might have to work, or they might have to find something else to do. But they don't really get that concept of, like, you have to, in order to be happy, you have to be able to overcome challenges. And there's a lot of challenges outside of manual labor or trying to survive or climb the ladder and be above those, others who are struggling more to do that, so you can compare yourself to them. No, like, there are so many challenges outside of all of that artificially crafted bullshit that you could overcome to become happy and progress society further. And it is so exhausting to know that, to see it the way I see it in my head. Articulating it is one thing, and that's something I struggle with, but not really. It's something I have struggled with, and as I've sort of burnt a lot of bridges, I've struggled more because I haven't been able to talk about these things as much. So they just kind of stewed, and I had to start addressing other more present issues in my life, and haven't gotten that practice to communicate these things in a while. So, like, the streaming is actually helping a lot. I don't know if there's anybody who's consistently, like, viewed any of my content. I don't think that I'm not sure if I've gotten a full watch on any full-length video, but for those who have, if that is a thing, you'll know, like, I'm getting better. Or it seems like I'm getting better, but really I'm just kind of getting back to where I was. Yeah, just juggling those thoughts, kind of streamlining them, and keeping everything kind of tied together. I've also been drinking coffee again. I think towards the very start of this, I'd happened to have ran out of coffee and didn't go shopping for a few weeks, because that's how I do. So that kind of helps. I certainly intend to provide more back to society. Like, I want to create something. I don't know if this is for everybody, but I have a theory that, yeah, like, it's um that most people have a drive to create something. Whether that be art or a system, uh, a child. Like, there's this ingrained drive to create in humans, and I don't think that's going to go away by removing areas of manual labor and uh, inefficiency and this, that, and the other things I was mentioning. I don't think that's going to ever go away. It's just going to shift into another area. But yeah, I know people don't want to feel replaceable. I don't like the feeling that I am necessarily either. But my work is a means to an end. I did used to get my sense of pride did not exist outside of the work that I did. Um, and I'm still proud, to be able to do what it is that I do. It does make people's lives better when they get taken care of through that work. It's yeah, and I should be able to have that pride. Same as with the doctor, but that doesn't mean that you can treat other people's work and their lives as just like so dismissible. You know, yeah. I want to free people up from this from having to do these things that if it's able to be done by something else, then yeah, that should be the case because I want people to focus on the things that make them happy, but not just for the sake of it. Because it there's the there's the utility and the principle. I think it's better for society if more people have time even just to work on the things that make them happy. By virtue of having that time, but you can be focusing on things that are bettering society and others, not just doing it for yourself. But if we are able to get it to a point where we don't need to do anything else to benefit society, then fuck it, let's do that. Not going to happen in my lifetime, but this doesn't mean it's not worth, you know, um, fighting for or upholding as a. Did we have armor? I hope we had armor. Whatever. So yeah, I really want to start like a maintenance guild or I don't know, like unions and guilds and co-ops just need to be more present in our society, and it really needs to. If we want to fight back in any other way that's not violent, that's what we need to be getting on. If you actually want to help people, like for example, somebody's saying that they want to be a doctor because they genuinely want to help people, right? Okay, well then you should be smart enough, especially with all that schooling. And this now I am going to get a little bit mean here. You should be smart enough, especially with all that schooling, to know that society would benefit greatly, more so by universal health care and having a more efficient, less error-prone uh, system of taking care of people. If you desire, like, if you are so selfish that you would, to say, I need to not be replaceable. If you want to justify your career path and uh, your work because the bottom line, like when it comes down to it, if you disagree with that there's a better way to do it, then you're lying or you're not smart enough to actually be in such a critical role. And if you don't want it to be the case because you like making lots of money or you just put all this work into it or whatever, then you're selfish. And fuck you. Like, yeah, I will admit I'm bitter about the things that I've had to go through, the work that I've put in to better my like my path, the one that was made available to me uh, through doing this maintenance and whatnot. I've put in a lot of work. I started out doing grounds, uh, and I was immediately, I mean, on the books, I was doing grounds, but like immediately I was doing maintenance and changing water heaters, repairing things, painting, drywall, all that stuff. And I didn't mind doing those things, regardless of them being outside of my job scope. It was just I put a lot of effort over the 4 years that I'd worked at that place, this first place I was at, and at the end of that, I asked for a raise because I was putting all of this effort in trying to rather than replacing every single appliance when you could just get like a $3 part. Say a dryer needs like a new fuse kit. Then it's like what, $5 or whatever, rather than like 300 for a new machine. So I started doing that, learning through YouTube how to diagnose and all of that, and I was doing great, and I definitely deserved a raise. I was making minimum wage. I was the highest amount when I left there that I was making was $13.50 an hour. It's gone up since then, and every time it would go up, they would gaslight me, and and I knew it was going up, so it's not like it's not like I was retarded and I fell for it, or sorry, that's not even appropriate because uh, it's not. Nobody would have to be like dumb to know, stupid to whatever. Fuck it, I'm saying shit, but I know. Oh, yeah. People wouldn't need to be dumb to not know that, but I knew that they were lying to me. Because, yeah, the minimum wage was going up, I wasn't getting a raise. It was just like the mandatory base amount. Ooh, that could have been real bad. They saved my ass. Oh, man! This keeps happening. Favorite color, oh god. Seriously? Yeah, I need to stop going off on tangents at the very least, because that'll help quite a bit. It's not that difficult to change either. Hmm. Well, there's always a possibility. I think my sword just falls through the map. Well, I kind of asked for that. Right, but yeah, yeah. At the end of all that, trying to learn how to fix all those and all that, and it was 4 years of doing that work. It wasn't just like after 4 years I decided to start learning that. No, no, it was like from the jump. I wanted to know what I could do to further my skills and everything. I wasn't really thinking about like getting a raise that soon because I was way too nervous to think about asking. I mean, it took me 4 years to ask for a raise. You know, and they were always asking more and more of me too. I was working with the vendors and scheduling things and like filing away paperwork in the office. Posting notices, helping out with like whatever I could all the time. And yeah, I get a meeting with the regional. First thing out of her mouth is that she thinks I'm not moving fast enough. Soon as I heard that, I'd made up my mind. And a month later, I gave a month's notice too. This was my first job, I was kind of a cuck. Um, and yeah, I gave my month's notice, thinking. I also kind of thought like I don't know, maybe they'll offer me a raise, but I didn't give a shit because yeah, even when I walked in to drop off my notice, my resignation letter, the regional was like in a meeting. She was like, "Oh, I'm in a meeting right now, but you know, because the front lady, the lady at the front desk, like paged her or something, and she comes out and is like, "Oh, I'm in a meeting right now, but if you want to talk about this, we can talk about it after." I'm like, "Nope, I just wanted to drop this off. You're good. That's all I came in for." Was just gonna leave it at the front desk, but I guess she felt it was like necessary to contact her. Who knows? Maybe that meeting was like about why people are quitting or something. That would have been fucking wild. That just occurred to me that maybe that's why she was like wanting me to stick around for a conversation. That's some funny shit. Huh. It wouldn't surprise me either. If people are just they're quitting all the time. They don't really pay you very well. I guess I've no, yeah, yeah, they didn't. I mean, minimum wage for what I was doing. They just they were taking advantage as much as they possibly could. Now I did get away with like a lot of just dumb shit that I probably shouldn't have there. So as far as I'm concerned, like that's I'm not really mad about that, but I am at the fact that that's how because it wasn't that I was getting away with stuff, smoking weed in the maintenance shop or whatever, and it wasn't a constant thing, but I was constantly smoking weed or like oil in a pen, and just like it was wild, and there was like a lot of good stories. I wish I'd have left that thing when I was talking about my work history up that one stream that I did, but whatever. I'll have to do another one. It was just rambly, disjointed as usual, but it was much worse than what I'm currently doing. It was several hours of just going over all of these different stories and tangential stories that are related to my work history. Because yeah, after that first 4 years, and this is 4 of 9 years of doing this type of work. I during COVID it was around the time I left, and I was bouncing around after that. I didn't, I was like, if that's how it's gonna be, then fuck it. I'm gonna if a place gives me problems, then I'm gonna fucking take my skills elsewhere. Go fuck yourself. Like, I'm not gonna have people talk to me like that, tell me that I'm moving too slow, try and gaslight me, when I fucking know that I was busting my ass and I was doing work. Like, I was all over the fucking place too, and I was like always trying to be like a people pleaser. Just get like I turned myself into a fucking bot to because I wanted to get some more money eventually, and like I don't know, just be the best kind of like little worker bot that I could. I guess you could say that maybe around that time I was like closer to a libertarian, but I was breaking from that in the process. So yeah, I was certainly more receptive to like a lot of the excuses that a libertarian would make for like businesses and deregulation type of stuff. But yeah, if honestly, if we can't get a civil workers' revolution, I am perfectly fine with a violent revolution. I want some motion in our lives. Uh, I want to stand on business, and I want to be with people who are ready to do the same. I just don't have time for cuckery anymore. Our country doesn't have time for it. We're long overdue globally to put that shit away. Wake the fuck up. And anybody who isn't willing to do that can actually get fucked. Like, I don't care. Like, if they don't get it, then they're not willing to get it. Whatever. That doesn't mean that everybody has to suffer because, um, some people just aren't ready to get it. But yeah, that also there's that attitude. It's similar to what I'm getting at here, but it's in the other direction, right? It's like those people that act like we don't get it. That we're too pie in the sky when it's like you don't do the work, you just want to get fucking paid for like moving pieces around or whatever. There's like the self-importance shit, and the ugh. It's so gross. Yeah, and I've been a supervisor before. It's not that big a deal. I'd set up like some safety data sheet binders and fucking keep the OSHA paperwork, making response plans and shit like that. Like, it's not that big a deal, and I was setting those up, right, because I was at a lease up. So outside of that, like, in a lot of cases those things are already done for these managers and whatnot, and they just all they have to do is refer to the content that's already there, or do the work that like the people under them are doing. You know, so yeah, just kind of make sure that everything's staying in motion and running the way it's intended. Like, it's really not that big a fucking deal. It's not an essential role, but people who get into that position, I mean, a lot of people, like, everybody kind of wants to feel like they're worth something, like they've done, done something that's like I understand what pride is like, and where and having like a lack of control in certain aspects of your life and wanting that to exist somewhere. You want to be the big powerful person in some area of your life. A lot of people. Uh, there's a lot of like personal self work that you can go through to eventually shake that attitude and realize that it's not about that, and you don't really need that to have a sense of self worth. But there's just a lot of people that aren't interested in that, or haven't considered it, or have had the time, or taken the time to, or simply don't care one way or the other. Like maybe they have, and it's not like we're all going to arrive at the same conclusion anyway. Some people are just pieces of shit and would rather justify their careers and whatnot because they're just arrogant, self-important, and etc. etc. I want what's best for society. Yes, part to do with that benefits me. I mean, that's like a huge, thing. Obviously, I don't like bad things for myself. And I don't even care if people who I don't like, benefit. I think that's perfectly reasonable. But there are people that stand in the way of my worldview, and I'm pretty much okay with whatever happening to those people, if that makes sense. If somebody wants to be an obstacle to that, then yes, then they are on the shit list. I don't care whether they. Not only do I not care that they benefit, but I would see them in the ground before I would do anything to that would benefit them. I wouldn't sacrifice anything for those people. Oh no. I don't know. This kind of sometimes it feels like a waste. Like I don't feel like anybody's really hearing what I'm saying. It doesn't matter if people do. What will it accomplish? That's that's something I'm kind of struggling with. I made a couple videos and I meant everything that I said in there. I know that it probably seems like I'm just putting on a show, being a little extra at times. I get that a lot of people they don't grasp like why I'm passionate, and that's why I'm trying to explain all of these things about myself. I want people to know why I say the things I say and why I think the way I think. I've always wanted that. For a long time, it's just I kind of felt like people won't get it or they won't. Oh, well, that's unfortunate. That they'll just be dismissive. Like I've been jaded by those things that I've described, and it's built into my perception of the world around me and the people around me, how the world works and how people think it ought to work. That I don't see a lot of vision, I guess, or where there is vision, there is a lacking of action. Okay, we can't just die. Cleansing out, enjoying my shadow. Change is coming. Now is my time. Listen to my muscle memory. 46 and 2 ahead of me. It's exhausting. Yeah, I fear more people not hearing the message and being willing to do something than I am the consequences of doing something. Because it's true, there's no pain, no gain. I don't want to let it get me down because I think part of me wants to think like, well, this must be like the algorithm, right? Trying, the suppress the message of um, resistance. And that very well could be the case, but it's not like all of my videos get like massive views anyway. Some more than others, if like there's a name associated, but even some that are just like nothing videos, just me gaming, get more views than those did in the first couple of days, those last two videos that I'd made. And I know I could probably stand to have more production value in the stuff I make, and I plan to. I'm struggling financially. I'm looking for a new job. I do believe that people should work, that like it is work to live and to live well. Yeah, I believe that it shouldn't be work to live, but it should be work to live well in a society. I think that's absolutely fair, and I'm sure somebody else has said it or something similar, but I don't really care about that. It's how do we make that happen? And I have ideas, and they're out there about how we get to that point. Like I said, with the co-ops and all of that. Uh, I should be jaded, if because if it's actually just the comfort that's preventing us from making these changes, then yeah, that is pretty disgusting. There's just too many people too comfortable. And we don't want to change because how that might affect us personally. So kind of just want to don't rock the boat, leave everything right where it's at. I don't know what those cubes are. Not a fan. Oh. I got most of them. Whoa! Seriously? You can't shield bash without a shield? That's fucked up. Fucking assholes. cheating and shit. There it is. Hmm. You know what's crazy? I'm surprised that there's no like castle map. You know, where it's like two of the archer towers up at the sides or whatever, or guards barracks or whatever those things are usually used for. Um, and then you got like a moat, right? And it wouldn't need to be like a full on castle even. It could just be like half a castle. Like a small kind of court room or yard or whatever in the center, and then you got like a moat with obviously lava, and a drawbridge and like a big door at the center. And what else? Castle shit, right? Maybe a few hallways, a couple rooms. You got like guards, the spear guys posted up in places, the archers and the towers. Like, uh, maybe there's a spiral staircase for those towers, and there's a couple of platforms where there's archers. Or I guess it'd be more like ramps, but you get it. You get the idea. It would be cool. Well, I'm gonna have to make that. I think it probably exists, though. Who knows? I'm not gonna do that right now, though. No, no, no. I think I might do another challenge and complain some more. Oh, that sounds fun. Ally attack of the enemy zombies. I mean, that's kind of alright, but I don't think that's a cool trophy. What if I could just survive the whole thing as this guy? That'd be nuts. Oh. No upgrades. That makes sense. That's reasonable. And half as many lives. Or clones, I guess. Yeah. That's good game mode for sure. Oh, that's a little easy. Let's just hope we get killed by something good. And I would like it that well, okay, that's kind of shitty of you, game, but I understand why you did it. Could you imagine if they just put like a basic sword guy like right at the corners of the map? separate the body from the mind. Withering my intuition, mixing opportunities that I must feel my will to feel the moment, drowning the yes of the light. I don't know what is what I was actually saying in those last two lines. I don't. Oh, oh, it's not what I wanted. I'm just like my vibe right now. I feels like I don't know, guys. What do you think? Should we do a revolution today? What are you feeling? Overanalyzing, separate the body from the mind. Withering my intuition, mailing opportunity behind. To feel this moment, edging me across the line. Huh, of course. Oh my gosh, sorry. I think I should have just stopped stream and then cut a new one right after finding out that the freaking screen was black. But I don't remember what I said in that first part, and maybe that was important to the rest, so I think I'll just leave it. If you watch it, I really appreciate you. We're doing pretty good, halfway. Uh-oh. Ooh, close. Why archers? You're wasting my life. Alright, we got one more. So now, yeah, we're doing pretty piss poor. Our last three fucking transfers being archer. The same exact archer. Well, I guess this is an upgraded archer, but still. Even still. If the fire kills me, can I just become the fire? That'd be unstoppable then. across my skin. Huh. Never been. Well, maybe I have, like in the campaign. I don't know. Can I kick? Ooh, yeah, I can. I should have tested that with the other dude. Uh oh. Ooh, I almost got kirked. Choosing to be here right now. Hold on, stay inside this holy reality. In this holy experience, choosing to be in this body holding me, it reminded me that I am not alone. All this pain is an illusion. No, did I run out? Oh yeah, I guess so, huh? Damn, so close. That's okay. Wow. Yeah. They saw me chop his dick off and it was over. They called it. And I put him out of his misery. Yeah, I'm not letting them do that shit they did to me before. Whirling around in this familiar parable, spinning, waving around each new experience, recognize this as a whole new. Wait, I forget sometimes that I don't know all the words to these songs, and I'll just be going and then like say some nonsense. Uh, there's a few of them that I know all the words to though, but not necessarily in the right order. Like right in two, pretty much know all the words to that, but not always in the right order. That's one of my favorites, though. Push It, that's one I really like, and I think I know all the words to that one. But I'd have to know, you know. There better be an achievement for like not dying in this, you know, if I can help it. I guess if the cut's not deep enough, then it just wouldn't work, and that makes sense. That's fair. Like maybe where the sword tapers off at the tip, it's like if it doesn't exceed that, then it's not deep enough. I wish I could show it, but unfortunately it's just locked in right there. Ooh, that would have really put a damper on my progress. Let's go. Where are we at? Yeah. All right. Halfway there. Yeah, it's great. Good shit. Really. Oh, the accidental deaths are crazy. It's like we're gonna make him an archer. It's gonna happen. I know the pieces fit, 'cause I watched them fall away, mildewed and smoldering from the mantle, differing to your intention, juxtaposed to say the love our souls in motion, disintegrating as it goes, just in our communication. The fire and yeah, okay, I don't know these ones. Crippling our communication. What if I just became a kickbot? Like, would that work? You know, I mean, if I get kicked into a saw blade, is it the saw that killed me or the kickbot? Yeah, we don't like you here. We don't like your kind here. Fuck off. was a time that the pieces fell, but I watched them fall away. Beautiful slice. Man, it's getting close. I'm gonna be disappointed. I know it's gonna happen, so I might as well like just enjoy the fact that I've made it this far without getting killed. But I just like I want to believe that there is an achievement. Oh no! This could be it. No, you bitch. I mean, okay. I guess if it's gonna happen, it's hard to be mad that it happened like this, you know? Can I spit fire? Can I do it? Yeah. They weren't expecting this. They didn't give me the controls or nothing. Was that like a one-time thing? Oh, weird. There's a way you have to do it. You gotta like tilt forward and then. Yeah. But does it actually do anything to these guys? Oh, okay, there it is. Alright, let's see if we can just... maybe it doesn't, Huh. I don't want to risk it. I want to finish this out as this guy. Because I think that'd be pretty funny. Can't do anything about it if I'm up... Oh, I see. Oh, okay, that was close. So you really got to be up on them with that. That's kind of not fair. It's kind of like a high jump is how that functions. Oh, is it just... Oh, okay, you don't press two different buttons. I see. Well, it was fun while it lasted. I'm okay with this. No! A little less okay with that. Alright, this is getting too hot. I'm just gonna fucking take your legs off. Or that. Whoa! It's happening again. I hold deep in muddy waters. You practically raise the dead. Rob the grave to snow the cradle and burn the evidence down. You must have been. I must have been. Foot in mouth and head of asshole, what you talking about? Difficult to dance round this one till you pull it out. Boy, you must have been so high. You must have been so high. Oh, damn, that would have sucked. So, is this the... Okay, no, I don't get to use a bow. I thought this would have been a swordsman archer, but I guess it's just like the flaming swordsman. I don't know why I didn't just wait for that one. Something just pissed me off about him being down there, I guess. What's the difference? Kangaroo done hung the children with innocent. Oh! Alright. Oh, okay, don't dash. Damn, I gotta contend with both of their shields. It's really fucking annoying. Okay, wait, this is the last guy. I need to actually not fuck this up. Whoa. Oh! If not for that shield. Weeping shades of indigo, shot without a reason. Weeping shades of indigo. Oh man! Come on, just get a good stab in. Yeah, that's what we needed. And there. And you too. And go fuck yourself. Oh, there's no kicks. Oh, okay. And this fire that could really mess up my shield. At least I think. None of that. This cleared out pretty quick. Dude, are you fucking kidding me? No! No! Ah! Ah! I want to keep streaming, but I want to stand up and walk around and just like, I want to break. That was some bullshit. I really need a standing desk. That's absolutely like if I get to a point where I can start investing in things again, I'm gonna do that for sure. I'm I'm like 9K behind in my fucking mortgage payment right now because of really dumb reasons, to be honest. It's to do with the staying employed, getting taken advantage of by employment, and just like not wanting that, and then I fucking not just like employment in general. Like I'm fine working. I've done it for 9 years. I'm good with that. Does this mean I won or okay? I didn't see you there. Yeah, no, I'm not one of the like I'm not a fucking neat or whatever. I guess I might not have graduated, but I'm not like not that type of shit. Just just so sick of it. And not being the best orator either really uh, pisses you off, right? Because you got to get the message across somehow. Whatever flavor it happens to be like by the husband, trapped by the ocean, shot by his own son. He used the poison in his tea and kissed him goodbye. That's my kind of story. It's not over till someone dies. Okay. Don't look at me like I am a monster. Put out your one face. Okay, I'm off. Into the TV, stare like a zombie while the mother holds her child, watches him die, hands to the sky crying. Why, oh, why? 'Cause I need to watch things die from a distance. Vicariously, I live while the whole world dies. You all need it too, so. Oh, wait, no, it's. I. I said choose your lie or something. I can't remember. Why can't we just admit we won't give pause until the blood is flowing? Who? Why does the story so? It's what I call knocking their block off. Am I right? Does get tiring though, right? Like it's a managerial role. When people sort of treat it as though, like, without. Uh-oh, I'm dead. Ah! It's so unfair. No. They treat it like you wouldn't have a job, or like basically your entire life is it couldn't operate without them, which is an absurdity. But they do act that way. So many of them. When people get like education's great, but like in our current system especially, it's bad. When there's so many people that like they think that because they went and got their degree in business and finance and whatever, blah blah blah, that makes them fucking important. No, 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 no. It's in fact like that. Um, they wouldn't have a job without the people that actually do the fucking work. You know, they just make decisions and move numbers around. And hey, a good decision's a good decision, but that doesn't give you the right to be so self-important. Because if there was other people who had the same opportunity to get that uh, position, it's all just a bunch of fake bullshit. Genuinely. It's kind of like how the best way I can put it is it's like how people treat billionaires and millionaires and whatever like they're smart, or like they've earned that in some way. When it's like, yeah, if I was born with all this money and that much of a head start, I would probably have enough time to think about the things and these investors, right? Like I'd be able to invest money in the right things that would generate that money as well. But it's, for one, not all about the money, and two, uh, sorry, yeah, yeah. It's like they're not smart. They've just had a lot of fucking free time, and they figured out how to molest the money. That's it. Uh, okay, maybe that's not like the proper use of that phrase, but I look at it all as money molestation, just because it's like it's very apt for describing how gross these people are and how unjustifiable their existences are. Whoa. Really? I told somebody once that well, probably more than that, but that this game was very accurate. That's a load of horseshit. Like, it can be, and then there's those times when it's not. It's the worst, and I'm just gonna not even progress. Where's the lava? Why is this even over here? Pick me. Oh! I didn't know I could do that. I wonder if the guys will say anything about that, or are they just gonna keep sending them out here? I don't know. Let's see. Oh. Ah, shit. This is fucking dumb. Can I just restart? Like, it's not gonna go well. Oh, I guess we're on 10 of 14. I mean, who knows, right? Oh, okay. That's, whatever. Okay. Long overdue. Contagion. I exhale you. Up to I exhale you. Maybe I should just fucking pick up vaping again. I'm just so fucking tired. Oh. A spell recast my tale with my allegorical elegy. Man, I, uh, uh, I'll say that, despite my ideals, right, for society and all this and that, that I truly do want to just show these people that mistreated myself and who do that to others. But I'll just talk the selfish part because I think that it's multifaceted, and part of this is to do with my it's a personal thing. It's personal, and I want that to be known. I want to show them how fucking wrong they are and how there is a better way. And I want to steamroll them. And I want to fucking rub it in their faces. Not on the level of success. I don't want to. I don't. Well, I guess like I want to succeed and outperform them. Um, but more than that, I mean, I want to make them obsolete. And I'm not talking about like the doctors and stuff. Like I was referring to that stuff earlier. I'm talking about the middle managerial class of things. Like, I want to make their position just another role. You know what I mean? I want to strip that power from them. I want to redistribute the power, and I want to see that self-important bullshit vacate from their expression. I want that. That fucking I'm better than you because I participate in the game shit. If somebody knows what I'm talking about, if anybody's here, again, I can't see that right now because of the whole monitor thing, but if somebody can vibe with what I'm saying, I would appreciate some feedback, or even if you don't, any feedback, because I don't know, at the very least, at least I'd feel like I might not be making the change that I'm wanting to see by doing this, but at least then I'm having the conversation, I'm building on my priors, and maybe I'm changing my position, but I'm not in that area. Fuck no, I'm not going to be a corpo. Um, mm-mm, that's not happening. I mean, that's literally like the fucking name of the channel. You know, this isn't. It's not entirely a spite-based thing, right? I want efficiency. I want systems. I want order where it is necessary, where it makes sense, and where it should exist. And then, in areas where we can afford to make joint decisions and where it's better to do that, and less not corrupt, or would lead to systems that are not corrupt, which is going to be most cases when people are making joint decisions. I think. I guess as long as we draw like new hard lines, and there's a lot of nuance to that statement, but I can't really parse these things just on my own. It's something I could be more specific and get and really crack into these things if I just got a little bit of communication, and we can. It would go somewhere. I think. Just who knows? Like there could be people that I want to set up a Discord, so maybe people could be who might be interested in like popping in and just having like a live conversation about these ideas, and there might be like some back and forth on what is going to be the best way, or what we think the best way to do stuff is, but it's more conversational and less debate. It's not going to be set up like a debate if that happens. Uh, though debate will occur at times, just depends on you know. I think we can do the rest of this with the hammer bot, and if not, we can have another life. What if we got a Spidertron? Oh my god! How did I not think of that? What if they don't give us another Spidertron because I said that? They're listening. I do not want a jetpack bot at all. Fuck. They're not even that much different from the blue sword guys. See, they can kick. I th- I don't know if the blue one could do that, but that's not really that special either. This is way harder than I thought it would be. I was pretty sure this was going to be like a one run deal. Yeah, it sure would be nice if I guarantee I'd have like some decent shorts out there if I had like people kind of clipping these things as I go. If because there's some times I think I pop off and I can really express what I'm getting at. artfully in some cases. I'm just gonna let the fire do it if I can. Oh. Oh, no way. I haven't barely touched this one. There. Child, release the light. Wake up now, child. That was my teleportation strategy. Exploding arrows would be so sick. Like, I think further up the tree, I totally think it's reasonable. Or maybe it's a separate path, right? That, like, it locks out the other paths if you choose it, type of thing. Where it's like, the draw is. No, not the draw, but maybe, it costs less energy to shoot a bow, and but they're not gonna get wider, you know. So it totally locks out the wider fire and flame arrow path once you go down it. And then like at the end of it, it's fire arrow, and it's just like the speed of the arrow, maybe the draw, maybe the how much energy it takes. And I guess at that point you could just do a bunch of rapid exploding arrows, and it wouldn't be like a massive explosion or anything, you know, just like enough to do a little area of effect damage, right? If you hit like next to somebody's head, it's gonna like send some shrapnel. Gotta do it when they land. So they fucking love to jump. Or just completely absorb the arrow right into their chest. Yeah, just like that. Oh, what is going on with that? Am I gonna get lasered if I go out there? It's a little crazy game. So many direct hits. Whatever. So dumb. Oh, if you're not seriously careful in this game mode, you could just have all of your lives go in one round. But it's so weird because I swear that going through this, like I got through it in one go in the campaign mode. I think. I mean that's recorded. It's up somewhere, so it's verifiable. I don't think I should do a Spidertron. One, I don't even know if they can walk. And I'd have to intentionally get hit by a grenade. Because I've only ever died once to one of those, I think. Maybe twice. Sick of you not giving it to me when I get them direct hits. Be more accurate. Yeah, I definitely think, the reason I've been gaming a lot more lately, it does partly have to do with just like having something to watch kind of while I freestyle my rants. But yeah, I think, part of it is to do with the fact that when you do gaming, it's it kind of satisfies that reward system in your brain, like you're getting something done, even though you're not. That's partly why I'm like, hey, if I can get a conversation going about these topics, then at least I'll feel like, not just feel like, but I'll actually be doing something. I guess commenting here in the live chat wouldn't do any good though, because I'm not going to be able to see it. So I think like if somebody did want to, they'd have to comment on a post or a different video. Doesn't matter if it's like specific to the topic either of that. I while the channel's this small, I can view all of the comments and just respond to them, and I try to. Certainly have so far. I need to let my dog in real quick, and then I need to change this background music. I'll be right back. Alright, and I'm back. Won't be on too much longer, though. I should probably do something today. I'm just, like, kind of down. I had to make my call for my forbearance program to, like, um, let them know. And now some, like, lo-fi shit's playing in the background, so that's, like, probably not helping my mood on the matter. I'm looking for more of a, what do we got? Vosh is on right now. New Plattner allegations. Looking real bad? Interesting. Well, fuck it, dude. I mean, it's like that politics game shit. You know, I was like 16 when I decided that politics, it was the way, change had to be made. It just like clicked, and I was like, that's how it's got to be done, and I truly believed that, I was like, that's how things change in this world, and I was kind of had the thought in my head, like, I want to do that myself, but I would never be a good politician as I've grown. Excuse me. Excuse me, I was talking through a yawn's not a good idea. No, I was thinking that I was going to. Damn, even Status Quo's covering it? Graham Plattner hints at dropping out after sexual assault. Uh, well, it says accusation, but I know what they mean. Um, yeah, so sexual assault allegation, and Plattner's thinking about dropping out. Okay, well, there you go. Uh, but yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. The fact that this is what we're counting on for our change. It's really disappointing, and just not that what's going on with Plattner. I don't care what's going on with Plattner. I care that like this is where we tie up all of our focus, and it's definitely that desire to avoid the direct conflict. But look at our opposition. Our opposition tried to do a violent insurrection and did essentially, and then the fucking gaming the system and doing all of this like fucked shit to the system. They've been flipping the table, So we have to either match that energy or just set it aside. Like, we're not going to, and you can't take my analogy and go, oh, well, you just simply, in your analogy, what are the cops for? You should call the cops and be like, this guy's being erratic and destroying things in my place. Well, that's not, an option, because they control that, the Supreme Court, they control the fucking, I don't know if they still control the House and Senate, but they did, I believe, at some point. Uh, and I guess our only plan as of now is to rely on these people who have done these things to lose, to allow themselves to lose, which they've shown every sign that that's not something they're going to be willing to do. We're relying on that in a system, like, and assuming that the system is fair. And the more we treat it like that, when they go to fuck that system over, guess what we have to do? We have to fucking keep pretending that it's not rigged, that it's not broken, if not rigged. So it's just God, I hate it when people do that. Nothing's been the same since January 6th. It was already bad. but after that, there's no excuses. It's laziness. It's out of fear. It's a denial in every form. And you can try and be like, take some kind of fucking intellectual approach and be like, oh well, um, the institutions will save us and this, that, and the other. But you're gonna have to give some real reasons why you think that that's the fucking case. Because I've given mine for why I don't think that it is. Uh, I'm interested. I'll hear people if there is some like real world precedent for the things that have been happening in this country. Uh, because I believe, from my understanding, right, it's like 250 years is usually the length of empire. Now, obviously, there's going to be reasons, but it's not just the time scale that's going to be relevant. There's the actual mechanisms behind a collapse is going to be what matters, really. But if that's the trend, and then obviously there's a historical precedent for that being the case, uh, and I'm sure that the mechanisms aren't very different than what's going on right now. It's not a joke either, right? The whole like bread and circus and the putting the fucking fight in front of the White House like that and all of that stuff. The what was it? The Patriot Games, all that shit. It's they're trying to like distract from the collapse. And now historically, that's what people have done. They've just like they didn't want to fucking deal with the headache of like the uncertainty. So they'd rather pretend like things are okay. And I hate you for that. I hate everybody for that, and I hate. I have seen that within myself. Like I know what that feeling is like, and I've hated that too. So I got rid of it. And yeah, if you're unwilling to get rid of it, then I definitely think you're weak, and it's disgusting. And yeah, I hate you. And like you're just a fucking obstacle. Oh, gotta be fucking kidding me. There's only, I guess, like the good thing is that there really is only so much distracting yourself that you can do and pretending that you can do before reality sets in. That is like the good part, but I just don't want. I'm an impatient person. You know, when it comes to a lot of things. You know, shit with relationships. I'll wait 2 years, before I decide like to I want an answer for whether somebody wants to go all the way type shit. Like I'll be patient in that regard. Um, but when it comes to this type of thing, I just it it's because it's like a societal thing, and it's like this entire structure of getting fucked. It drives me crazy. Yeah, if I waste my time, at least it's just me. I wasted my time. No big deal. But if it's just like, oh, we're all just basically pretending and like coping and getting by, that like makes me ill. And every word about it and action that try to perform to advance a, a better world, and it goes nowhere. It makes me ill. uh, Going to protests used to make me feel better. It don't anymore. God damn it. That seems to be how it goes. It's all in one round and then it's over. Yeah, that's probably true. Fucking cunt bag. Uh oh. Am I lagging? Oh. Yeah, I'm definitely a like put your balls on the table kind of guy. That is for sure. I don't know. I wish there was more put your balls on the table people. Now, I don't need to have like the biggest balls. I'm just saying, like we all should be putting them on the table. And I'm not talking like being the most edgy, uh, bravado filled whatever. I'm talking about actually, you know, like when you let them know what you think of them, and that you're basically your life's mission uh, is antithetical to their existence if they choose to be like the corporate bots. That's putting your balls on the table. Like they benefit right now from a system that allows them to treat us like they don't need us. But we've given them that system. Like we've given them the privilege of that, which is crazy. Like, could you imagine how much more proud of your labor you would be if your labor was empowering your class? Not just competing with your class, empowering. But they've filled people's heads with the illusions of being as rich as they are in a system that expressly precludes them from doing just that. So yeah, the people that fall for that, if they can't be convinced, they're useless. They're in the way. Get rid of them. Weird. Usually he's all bobbing around. There he goes. Is that a grenade? Oh. Oh, I guess that one's dead. Damn. Yeah, the A button wasn't working, but when I started pressing that other jump button, it did. Shit. Okay, well, that's okay. It's not that big a deal. I think I might be a little big for this level. No! Uh, just wasn't what I wanted. Wasn't how I wanted to go. Where did that even come from? Hmm. Oh, I can't kick him. What the fuck? Yeah, naturally. I hate this guy so much. He shouldn't be able to deflect everything. That could have been it. Okay, we don't have time for kickbots. Whoa. Yeah, it's about time. Okay, well, I don't know what I want to do, but I know that I need to stand up and actually, like, do stuff. So I think that's what I'm gonna do now. Alright, thanks for watching. That's it. Might be on later. Just depends on if I can actually get things done today.